as an oracle, I can just tell based off of your face shape, as well as different features on your face, what kind of person you are. Now, some call it poppycock, but I don't think so. Oh, no, no, no. I instead believe that this is information that we can use. Oh, you there? Are you lost? Oh, please, come in. Come to my shop. Oh, yes, I welcome all, particularly ones of unfortunate visages. What brings you here? Are you just roaming the streets? A peasant, you say? Oh, that's quite unfortunate. It's really quite unfortunate. But you know, I am a mystic, a soothsayer, an oracle, many call me, and I could not help but notice your quite ugly face and just how unfortunate it is. You know, as an oracle, I'm used to reading people's faces and palms. I divine the future for them, and you know, with the gold and silver that I earn, I tend to help those of less fortunate upbringings, and it seems that you might be one of those people. So, perhaps I can help you, and you can help me by being here, and I can clean you up, perhaps, and take a look at your face and read it, and perhaps you can take the time to learn about your own future, and that way we can both come out of this with being a little bit smarter. So what say you? Good. All right then. If we're going to get started, I need to be able to take a good look at your face, but I can't really do that with how dirty you are. So I'm thinking I'm going to have to just wipe away a little bit of the grime that you've got on. So I have a little bit of some cotton. Yes, I did make this myself, but there's no need to worry. It's a very delicate receptacle. So if I'm going to grab one of these, yes, I'm sure one of your unfortunate circumstances have not seen anything quite so elaborate. But I assure you, stay here with me and help me, and you'll be able to see way more of that. So if you could stay still for me, I'm just going to get in here and wipe away some of the nonsense you've got going on. So can you tell me, why is it that you've decided to be this ugly? Oh, you say you were born that way. Excuses. But you know, I must say, a lot of peasants tend to have a lot of disfigurement, and I don't see much with you. Yeah, I see a bit of sun damage on your skin. Why, yes, of course, the sun does its damage. Just because we're in England doesn't necessarily mean that the sun doesn't do its due course on the body. Okay, just stay still. Yeah, you've got so much grime. Are you a farmer? Oh, your father's a farmer, alright, and you work on his farm? Understood. But the crops aren't They're not very good this year, are they? Yeah, no, I'm sure the plague has really taken a toll on on everybody, really. But yes, I do like to help a lot of the people that are around here. You know, my shop tends to be in between the more nobler areas, and there's a few seedy taverns that a lot of peasants end up being at, or being near, rather. And so I'll pick them off the street, give them a good cleaning, and, you know, just make sure that they're well taken care of. And how they help me is that I'm just able to read their faces, and hopefully with my readings they can perhaps change their fortune in life. Well, alright. That seems to be a good amount of dirt taken off and grime. I think I might need a bit more. What say you? You just have a bit of oil, you know, just like on your forehead that I didn't quite catch. So I'm just going to grab a bit more, right? Just one more, and be very quick. Alright. So just the oil that's up here. Yeah, I know you don't bathe quite often, not many English people do, myself included, but you know, a good bath once in a while does help, even if it's at a lake or in the river. I know it can be quite cold, so just make sure that you're well prepared for it. Well, alright, and now I see that you are clean. And I want to make sure you smell good. And, you know, I like to think that my establishment attracts people of all walks in life, and I can't really do that with you stinking up the place. So I'm just going to use a little bit of incense here. Just move this around a bit. You know, stoke the flames here. Make sure it's nice and center there. And I can put that there and just let it waft onto the skin there. Alright. Okay. Well, now that we've got that, let's get started with the actual meat of the reading. No, don't worry, I just needed to do a bit of cleaning, and we'll do more of that later. But first, now that I've cleaned you off a bit, I can kind of tell what face shape you have. What's that? You don't quite understand? Well, that's alright. So you see, looking at your face, as a soothsayer, as an oracle, I can just tell based off of your face shape, as well as different features on your face, what kind of person you are. Now, some call it poppycock, but I don't think so. Oh, no. I instead believe that this is information that we can use, that you can use. So, perhaps I can draw you a diagram. That way you can understand, and if you ever want to reconfirm, because some people grow out of their facial features, and so they might change personalities. So it might be good for you to understand this information, alright? So, if we get started here, the first shape is just a circle, a round face. Now, a round-faced person is someone who's quite sensitive, right? Really not quite, right? Not quite useful. Yeah, I'll write that down. Sensitive. You can see, sensitive. Oh no, you can't read. You're illiterate. Oh, that's all right. Maybe this will inspire you to learn. So, they're quite sensitive, and one of is they're quite intensely sexual. All right. So a round face is like they're very sensitive but sexual. There's a little bit of a dichotomy there. So they're very good at breeding a lot of children. Perhaps if you were to inherit your farm and you want to populate, get yourself some workers, children work real wonders for that. And a round face is integral to as that. Anyway, the next shape that we've got, something I like to call the oblong shape. It's round. It's circular. However, it's long. You just have a taller head, and this it removes the sensitivity of the round head, and they turn it into they're more practical. You're pragmatic. These are people that, they're no nonsense. They don't like. They're not the kind of people that really come into my shop because this is all seen as poppycock to them. However, they are also quite narcissistic. They are sort of a lot of nobles, a lot of dukes and duchesses, and the king. If you've noticed, the king has an oblong face. He's quite narcissistic, isn't he? So, as you can see, if I look at your face, you do not have an oblong face. Oh no, you do not, and that's quite fortunate for you, because I do think while they are practical, as I'll write down here, but they are quite narcissistic. Yeah, as you can see. And so from here, we've got more of a, hold on. We've got a triangular face. Now this is quite exaggerated, but I think you will quite understand what I'm saying based off, I'm sure you've met a few triangular faces in your life. They're very prominent, you can see it on the face. They're very artistic, the triangular faces. If you really think about it, I think that the triangle is so unique that they like to think that they can create something as unique as their own face. But unfortunately, because of that artistic nature, they can be very good at being artistic. They're your bards, they're the ones that, they can be carpenters too. They're carpenters, woodworkers, anyone that takes pride in an artistic work. They're really, really good at it. But as such, they can also be quite snobby. Think of any famous painter. We have a lot of famous painters here right now. We did. I think the knights did travel south, and they encountered tombs. They found some mummies. Do you know what a mummy is? Yeah, they ground up those mummies and they made like a mummy brown. Yes, those were the triangular faces. They want to have that creative freedom of painting with dead bodies of other cultures. So of course, they're all around us. But you also do not have a triangular face. I think you, as an ugly peasant, are a little bit too. Your personality doesn't allow you to have a triangular face. If I just see, you want me to double check? Oh, that's okay. If I just say, look right there, see if I try and trace a triangle over your face, can you see how my fingers is going. It's not really touching your jaw. It's quite unfortunate, but that's okay. I don't think you really need a triangular face. The artistic people are quite snobby, and while it can be quite fun, it is not it's not the life for everybody. Next, of course. So wait, let me write down, because of course you're going to take this home with you. So they are snobby, but they're artistic. You can see here. All right. So next we're going to have the square shape. See? And of course, a square shape. I think if I were to think of a square-shaped person, of course, a square-shaped face person, you might envision a aggressive person. One that probably ridiculed you in childhood. Perhaps they even, tossed you in a well, or done any manner of horrible things to you. And you would be right about that. They are quite horrible people. They're quite aggressive. So that's the first thing I'm going to write down, is they're very, very aggressive. They're not able to really contain themselves. They go on violent streaks. I think a lot of serial killers are square-faced. Just something that I've noted. I'm not a very discriminatory person. As you know, I'm very, very kind. However, a square-faced person is also quite smart. There's a bit of a devilish cleverness that comes with a square-faced person. As you know, it's just something that you have to keep in mind of. And I think if I want to look at your face, I could see you as a square-faced person, but there's a bit more to it. I think. No, yeah. If I can see it now, I'm not quite sure yet. You are still quite a bit dirty, and your hair is really coming into. If I could just put it behind your ear here. Yes, you can see. It's a bit difficult to tell. But here, let me go through the last one, and then we'll determine precisely what face shape you have. All right. So the last one is rectangular. And the rectangular face shape, unlike the square face shape, is much better. These are people who are very humble. I think the rectangular face shape, they know how unfortunate it looks to have a rectangular face shape. They have all the structure of a square, but they're uneven. That's what makes them a rectangle, isn't it? So I would say the first thing about a rectangular faced person is that they're quite humble. And on top of that, they're very honest people. They're honest workers. They don't lie. Not even white lies. They feel very uncomfortable with that. So I think the reason why I might have confused you for having a square-faced shape is because you actually have a rectangular face. You're very humble and you're very honest. But unfortunately, that is quite ugly. A lot of the time, something that's conventionally attractive provides a bit more leeway for you to be evil, or perhaps even just be unsavory. But if you're ugly, then you can be really. You have to be a bit nice, right, to compensate. So this is a little chart here of just face shapes and what they associate with personalities. So I'm going to leave that with you. I'm actually going to take this page. Yes, I make all these pages myself. They're very, very expensive, and I don't make enough money. However, I'll just leave that with you. So from here, I think it might be a good time to address the elephant in the room, which is your clothing. It's quite bedraggled in it. It's a bit much. So I do have some buttons here. And these buttons, I think, if we can just, and I'll provide you with a few appropriate buttons, I think, for you to sew them back on. All right. Of course, I personally don't know how to sew, so this will be something that you have to do. However, this is one of those things where it would be good for you to do, just so that your clothes last longer. I'm sure working at a farm is quite difficult in this day and age. Let me see. Does this button work? No, it's a bit too brown here. No, your shirt's a bit more tan than that. Here, actually, does this work? It's a collection of buttons right here, tied together. I think this works pretty well for you. Yeah, I think that works. I'm just going to leave that with you, alright? And then I'm also going to, now that your face is a bit more dry, I'm going to use a bit of this tincture that I have. This tincture, it's my own personal concoction here. It really blends with the incense that I've lit already. So let me just take this here and put it on you. Right. And then right there. Yeah. Okay. And just up here. Okay, all right. Pretty good. All right. So the next thing we're going to do is I'm just going to test your nose. So a nose is sort of like a pass-fail situation. You either have a fleshy tip or you don't have a fleshy tip. So I'm just going to squeeze your nose here. There we go. Yes. Okay, yeah. You do have a fleshy tip. A fleshy tip does mean that you have a lot of empathy and you're very warm as a person. It's probably why I felt like inviting you in. This is something that you need to know. These are qualities that you need to know and be confident in as a peasant, You may have warts, you may have boils, but at the end of the day, if you don't know your own personality types, that's really what's going to stop you and what's going to stop you from being approachable by other people. So, let's take a look at your eyes next. There's a few things about eyes. So, here, perhaps I can illustrate for you, give you another chart here. Yes, of course, yeah, and you can use this on your family members and your brothers and sisters. Where are you in the chain of family? Oh, you're the oldest. Oh, yes, then you can 100% do this on all your younger brothers and sisters, figure this out, And that way they won't be disadvantaged. So, the first set of eyes that we need to keep in mind here is a closed set. And it just means that they're very close together. And what that means for your personality and for your future is just that it's something to keep in mind is that if you have closed set eyes, that you're very narrow-minded. You have very good concentration. You're really able to focus on something. However, that focus really comes with the fact that you have blinders on. Think about horses, right? And how a lot of stable boys will put blinders on people, not on people, on horses. So this is one of those things that you have to keep in mind. They have really good concentration, but they are very narrow-minded. So these are the types of people that really can't fathom a different road in life, really can't figure out. They're not forward thinkers, So this is just something to keep in mind here. The next is going to be uneven eyes. All right. So if I'm going to illustrate it, be sort of like that. You see how they're just not on the same playing field, and it does create quite an unfortunate look. And so the uneven eyes, as you might imagine, they breed uncertainty. These people, there's a bit of uncertainness in how they act and how they approach people, and that's likely because they have many different views just of the world. Now, of course, like, people with uneven eyes do not literally have different views of the world, but they do literally have different views of the world. That's why they're so uncertain. If you really think about it, if you really, really think about it, it's I'm such a genius, Anyway, you've got the unevenness, and then next we're going to have the opposite of the first set. We're going to have wide set eyes that are far apart. And that just means, as like in the first one, the opposite. So if close set eyes are narrow-minded, wide set eyes are open-minded. They're very tolerant to people as well. Oh my god, I think I had a lover that was a wide set eye, very open-minded and tolerant of a lot of nonsense that I would bring to the table. But of course, they're not all good. There are other aspects of a person's face that leads to their personalities. So, wide set eyes are generally very good, though. They're very open-minded. And they're very tolerant. Alright? So, open-minded and tolerant. And the last are upturned eyes. So they're sort of pointing up in either direction. And that just means that they're very speculative. So I'm just going to write that down. Speculative. Not really much else to say about them, really. They're just very speculative people, very curious. You notice a lot of animals have upturned eyes, and that's because animals tend to be very speculative and curious. And humans are very much in a similar boat. However, I don't really recognize downturned eyes. I don't think really consider them people, so we're not going to talk about them. All right? Okay. So I'm just going to take this and leave it with you. And so from that, I noticed that you have, of course, uneven eyes. You are uncertain, hence why I think you are peasant. I think that's very normal, don't you think? Yeah, so with your uneven eyes and then your humble and honest rectangular face, here you go, by the way. I think I can see why you've been struggling, and wandering the streets. So what you need to do is you need to be able to bill yourself to other people to help let other people view you in that humble and honest way. That rectangular face shape, while ugly, will really help you and help endear you to other people if you let it. All right. So when I look at your face and I look at these features, your fleshy tip nose, that's right here, and then just your rectangular face and your uneven eyes, I see a really bright future for you if you allow it. I see there's two paths you can really go down, and it's either tragedy, boredom, or it's going to be wonderful for you. You're going to find something that's going to bring you fulfillment. And It's just, I'm so glad to have met you and to have changed your life. All right, well, it is night time, and this did take quite a lot out of me, and I'm, you know, oh, your father's farm is days away. All right, well, you better get going then. No, I won't let you stay with me. Okay, well, I hope you have a wonderful night then, and enjoy your ride back to your father's farm.